You have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
You mentioned L.A. Reid sent you to New York and you live with P. Diddy. They call it Flavor Camp.
Flavor Camp, yeah.
So what was that experience like and how did that help Usher's career?
I don't think I would be the artist that I am today without the experiences that I had.
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay. He got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business. I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital.
I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
The first week of testimony in the high-profile trafficking and racketeering conspiracy trial against Sean Diddy Combs coming to a close. After 4 days on the stand, Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex, and the woman whose civil lawsuit really cracked open this case, wrapping up her testimony.
How many people are there, really, who could end up testifying against Sean Diddy Combs? With lawsuits stacking up, that question becomes more and more relevant. Who was as close to Diddy as his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, who testified against Diddy in the first week of his trial? Who could be the next Cassie Ventura-level witness? And in the middle of that growing list of names, one person continues to come up, Usher Raymond. But here's where it gets even more layered. Usher's name isn't only tied to Diddy because of their own history. It also came up in a separate context, when Diddy publicly spoke about Justin Bieber. In his well-known 48 Hours with Diddy video, a young Justin Bieber was shadowing Diddy for a weekend. And in that footage, Diddy brings up Usher as someone who previously had a similar experience. It was positioned as a mentorship parallel, a then teenage Usher learning from Diddy in the 1990s, and now a teenage Justin getting the same treatment.
You're not ready. Let's slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down, okay?
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours. Yeah.
All right.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion.
Yeah.
The clip sparked fresh conversation about Diddy's relationships with young male artists, especially in light of the lawsuits he's now facing. But it's important to be completely clear. There is no public evidence that Justin Bieber was ever abused by Diddy. Bieber has never accused Diddy of any wrongdoing, and there are no legal filings or testimonies suggesting that he will be involved in any case against Diddy. All current conversation about Bieber's involvement is speculative and fueled purely by online chatter, not facts. Still, the fact that Diddy linked Bieber to Usher has caused people to look closer at Usher's history with Diddy, which dates back to when he was just 13 or 14 years old. His mother sent Usher to live in New York City with Diddy, hoping that mentorship from someone like him could rescue her son's career. And it worked. Usher eventually went on to become a global superstar. But in recent years, his reflections on that period of his life have raised eyebrows, not because he's made any direct accusations, but because of what he's implied. In multiple interviews, including a memorable appearance on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharpe, Usher has described that time as wild.
I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks.
It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See?
He explained that while he was still just a kid, he was placed in adult environments and witnessed things he didn't fully understand at the time. He said that, as a father now, he would never let his own child attend something like the flavor camp he went through as a teen. The way he talks about it is cautious, even filtered, but the message is still there. He was exposed to things no teenager should have been around. Usher put it more subtly. He said that there were very curious things taking place, things that he didn't understand at the time. While vague, statements like that have become central to the growing public curiosity about what exactly went on during his time with Diddy. He never named names. He never said anything criminal happened. But his hesitation has spoken volumes to audiences who have followed the Diddy controversy closely, even in more controlled environments. Like his Essence magazine cover interview, Usher deflected questions about his early days with Diddy, stating that he wanted to save some of those stories for his book One Day. He also mentioned being around a lot of sex, though again, he didn't offer specifics or suggest he was directly involved or harmed. But that vagueness has only fueled more questions from the public, and the public speculation has also been stirred by what Diddy himself has said in the years since. A particularly uncomfortable clip that resurfaced from an episode of Drink Champs shows Diddy casually saying that he and Usher used to wake up together, a comment that immediately sparked confusion and backlash.
Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher fresh off the garden stage.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes.
Diddy quickly followed it with pause, an attempt to downplay the awkwardness of the statement. But the damage was done. Viewers immediately latched onto the clip as evidence of something strange. Not illegal or confirmed, but definitely strange. With Usher being a teenager at the time and the ongoing allegations surrounding Diddy, these offhand remarks take on a much more uncomfortable tone. They aren't proof of anything criminal, but they certainly add layers to the mystery. Usher has not directly accused Diddy of abuse. Everything Usher has said has been vague, nonspecific, and carefully worded, but his discomfort is noticeable. And that, mixed with Diddy's own odd statements, has kept Usher's name in the center of public speculation. As the lawsuits against Diddy continue to unfold, many are wondering whether Usher could eventually be called as a witness. As of right now, there is no official indication that Usher has been subpoenaed, and there's no confirmed plan for him to appear in any legal proceedings involving Diddy. However, this can always change. That said, there is one lawsuit where Usher's name was explicitly mentioned, and that has only intensified the conversation. In 2024, singer Dawn Richard filed a lawsuit against Diddy, alleging multiple incidents of misconduct. According to that lawsuit, Usher was present at a dinner where Diddy allegedly assaulted Cassie Ventura. It's important to note that while Usher's name appears in the suit, he has not commented publicly on the incident and has not confirmed or denied his presence at the dinner. Whether he was actually there or what he may have witnessed remains unknown. And then there's the case filed by music producer Lil Rod, which added even more fuel to the fire. In that lawsuit, Diddy was accused of bragging about private encounters with a male artist who had performed at the Super Bowl and had a Las Vegas residency. While the lawsuit does not name the artist directly, many online observers quickly pointed out that Usher fits the description. Again, this is purely speculative. Usher was not named in the lawsuit, and there is no evidence confirming he was the person being referenced. Still, in the court of public opinion, it was enough to spark viral rumors. And with all of this swirling around Usher, some people have also started revisiting Usher's own legal history. It's a common tactic in high-profile legal proceedings. If someone is called to testify, opposing attorneys will often look into their past for anything that could be used to discredit them. In Usher's case, he has previously faced civil lawsuits alleging that he exposed former partners to herpes without disclosure. Several of those cases were either dismissed or settled outside of court. None of them resulted in criminal charges. But if Usher were ever to testify in a Diddy-related case, these past allegations could resurface, not because they're directly related, but because they could be used to question his character or credibility in a high-stakes courtroom setting. While Usher has chosen to stay relatively quiet, one person who has taken the complete opposite approach is Al B.
Is Diddy suing you or threatening to sue you?
No.
No?
I have the truth.
But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay. But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I am. And again, there's no, like I said, this is not marketing for me. I'm living this life. And
So
the
let me
only
ask-
reason I wanted to tell the story, Kurt, was very specifically because I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff.
Unlike the vague hints and careful interviews we've seen from others, Al B. Shore has been publicly vocal, emotionally charged, and fiercely committed to drawing attention to what he believes are unanswered questions, especially surrounding the death of Kim Porter. For context, Kim Porter was a model, actress, and mother to several of Diddy's children. She passed away suddenly in 2018. And her official cause of death was listed as lobar pneumonia. Authorities reported that she had been battling flu-like symptoms in the days leading up to her passing. But Al B. Shore, who had a personal and professional relationship with Kim, has consistently stated that he doesn't believe the official explanation tells the whole story. In interviews, social media posts, and even podcast appearances. He's claimed that Kim appeared to be in great health shortly before her death. He's mentioned seeing her at a Netflix event, noting how radiant she looked and how excited she seemed about the future. According to him, there were no visible signs of illness, but what's most alarming is that he claims Kim warned him shortly before her death to watch his back. He also says he once urged her to contact the FBI, though no public record or official agency has confirmed that such a warning or report ever took place. Al B. Sure has also claimed that he himself was nearly a victim of something more sinister. In 2022, he was placed in a medically induced coma after suffering multi-organ failure. After recovering, he began speaking out, suggesting that his health crisis might not have been entirely natural. He's hinted that there may have been foul play involved, and without naming specific people, strongly implied that those close to Diddy might have had something to do with it. Again, there is no official investigation or evidence linking Diddy to Al's coma, and these claims remain purely speculative and based on Al's own suspicions. Still, his accusations haven't gone unnoticed. They've sparked conversations online and added another thread of mystery to the growing saga of Diddy's legal and personal history. Al B. Sure has also confirmed that he was subpoenaed as part of the ongoing federal investigation into Sean Combs. That detail alone sets him apart from many of the others being discussed in the public eye. In a recent interview, he said he has no fear of testifying and is currently working with his legal team on how to move forward. At the same time, he's working on both a memoir and a documentary, projects he claims will go deeper into the events surrounding Kim Porter's death, his health scare, and his long, complicated history with people in the industry. The title of the memoir, Do You Believe Me Now?, makes his stance clear. Al B. Sure believes he's been dismissed, ignored, and even labeled mentally unstable by authorities and media outlets when he first tried to speak out. And now, with the legal spotlight finally turning toward Diddy, Al believes the world might finally be ready to listen. In recent months, Al B. Sure has taken to social media repeatedly to express his frustrations. He's posted emotional captions, throwback photos, and direct call-outs to Diddy. In many of those posts, he's accused law enforcement of failing to take him seriously and claimed that when he first voiced concerns, he was treated like a conspiracy theorist instead of a credible witness. Whether his concerns will eventually play a role in the federal case remains to be seen. But what's clear is that Al B. Sure isn't backing down. He's leaning into this moment, hoping to use the platform he still has to raise awareness about what he sees as a deeper, hidden story that's just beginning to unfold. And with Usher staying quiet, Bieber avoiding comment, and Diddy continuing to deny all allegations, Al B. Sure seems like he could be the next Cassie Ventura level witness. Lawsuits, subpoenas, unsealed documents, and public scrutiny. It's all happening at once, creating a storm of attention unlike anything we've seen in modern celebrity history. What started as whispers has grown into something much louder. And while not every name mentioned in the conversation has spoken out, the fact that they keep coming up means the public isn't letting this go. So now we turn it over to you. What do you make of Usher's vague reflections on his teenage years with Diddy? Do you think Al B. Sure's claims should be taken more seriously now that investigations are underway? And do you believe there are still more people out there with stories they haven't told yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'll be watching what you say. And if you want to stay fully up to date as this story continues to unfold, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single update. This story is far from over, and we'll be right here, covering every new piece as it breaks.